What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Seahawks review. We're going to go through the roster here and check out some of the changes I made to EA's ratings. I have the Seahawks third in my power rankings heading into next season. They had a lot of injuries this year, and I think they're going to bounce back and be that elite defense paired with a good offense led by Russell Wilson. So let's take a look at the roster here. Russell Wilson goes up a little bit. I think he was an 88. Just such an annoying quarterback to go against. He knows where he needs to go with the football, but also able to extend plays. And really, the way they run their offense is perfect for Russell Wilson. A lot of play action. They move him around so much. And then at running back, I'm actually a huge fan of CJ Procise. I think he could take over this job and really become a star running back. He's got a great size, 6 feet, 220. A converted receiver from Notre Dame, but has great vision. He's kind of similar to Ty Montgomery, except he has more experience at running back. And when he played running back this year, he absolutely killed it. Thomas Rawls kind of is what he is, in my opinion, a very strong mini beast mode, if you will. But yeah, I have a lot of expectations for CJ Procise. And then the rest of the guys didn't really capitalize on their opportunities when these two guys were injured. But I think both these guys could have very good years next year if that offensive line can get solved a little bit, which we'll get to in a little bit. At receiver, all these guys pretty much moving down. I think they're more a product of Russell Wilson and the offense than they are of themselves. Doug Baldwin, the best of the group, obviously, but he goes down. I just think he's not a number one. Still a very good receiver, but they had him at like a 89, I think, which is way too high for him. And then Lockett had a very disappointing year. He kind of came back a little bit towards the end, but still developing in terms of his abilities as a receiver. He's definitely still a slot guy at this point. Receivers, Tanner McAvoy goes up. He was like a 61, and he had a pretty big role in this offense. Tight end, not a ton of movement here. I think Luke Wilson went down a little bit. Jimmy Graham, solid. Still doesn't really block, though. And then this offensive line is very weak. I think they're going to spend pretty much all of their resources this offseason trying to fix this offensive line. Justin Britt's good. And then Jermaine Ifedi had to move up quite a bit. He was like a 69. He goes up to a 75. He wasn't perfect by any means, but he was at least probably their best offensive lineman. But yeah, a lot of holes on that offensive line. It was pretty clearly the worst offensive line in football last year. And then onto the defense, a lot of these guys kind of go up, actually. Michael Bennett goes from a 91 to a 95. I think he is one of the more underrated superstars in this league. He really does so much, not just as a pass rusher where he's underrated, but just his ability to sniff out runs and the things they can do with him in nickel packages, moving him from inside to out. So athletic, just such a great asset for this defense. And Cliff Averill goes up just a little bit. I mean, he came down because he was splitting time with Frank Clark, who had a great season in 2016. But Cliff Averill, when he plays, he's still a great pass rusher. And then the D tackles, all these guys just getting a tiny bump up. I thought they were a little low. And then at linebacker, they still haven't really found that replacement for Bruce Irvin, but they did have Cassius Marsh playing quite a bit in that role, but I could see them looking to address that. And then Bobby Wagner, a stud. KJ Wright, stud. On the secondary, Richard Sherman goes up. I think I have him either tied for or as the best corner in the game. He struggles a bit in man coverage once they kind of get him on slants or crossing routes. But he's so good at defending streaks in man coverage, and then his zone, his knowledge of where his positioning, it's flawless. And then the rest of these guys kind of move down a little bit. Shed's a fine number 2. Jeremy Lane goes down quite a bit because he struggled. And you saw teams really picking on Lane. especially later in the season. At safety, Earl Thomas, hopefully he can bounce back from the broken leg, I think it was. He means so much to this defense, which was a big storyline throughout the year. And then Cam Chancellor goes up. He's another guy like Michael Bennett that the things they're able to do with him, it's almost unfair because they basically play him at linebacker in most of their packages, but then he's able to cover deep, he can cover under, and he's like probably the best linebacker on this defense other than Bobby Wagner with his pursuit and just the way he intimidates in the run game. So that's it for the Seahawks. Let me know what you guys think of the changes. And next up, we got the Steelers. So we'll see you for that.